Hey there, traders. What's up? Jamie Setley here. It is November 27th, 2015, the day after Thanksgiving, late on a Friday here. And I actually was going through some of the EidoSearch um, scans, and something interesting's popped up. This chart is the euro dollar, by the way, but there's a lot of euro crosses. So this is the watch list page, and we've got 1 month. Okay, it's my favorite time frame as far as kind of scanning quickly for swing ideas. And we're getting a lot of look at the average return and the percent upside. This is ranked here by average return. Okay, but we're getting a lot of euro crosses popping up on the bullish end of things, which is obviously pretty interesting given current market situation. We've talked recently this past week in particular about what's going on with Eurodollar on the short-term time frame. This is the hourly chart, and I did the video a couple days ago talking about the raised floor. Okay, in other words, each decline has failed to reach support before it rallied. Okay, so you're getting higher support levels. Okay, not higher on a absolute basis, not on a horizontal basis, but on a slope basis, telling you that momentum is kind of petering out. Okay, not nearly as strong as it should be if euro is still extremely bearish. All right. Now, as far as trades are concerned, remember you want to trade at support or trade on bullish slope. We obviously don't have any bullish slope in euro. In fact, we've yet to break important resistance. Okay. Um, this line, okay, the one that goes through the tops here back on the 5th of November and the 12th, as well as the 19th, all spaced exactly 7 days apart. That line needs to break in order to adopt a bullish bias on euro dollar. All right, we're getting what looks like a wedge declining here, marked by the magenta lines here, the magenta barriers. Um, in Elliott, this can be it's called an ending diagonal, right? You get 5 waves down. So I'm not sure if we're done yet, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you could have something like 1, 2, and then 3. We get a little 4 here. We could go sideways, triangle, thrust lower, then higher, what have you. Point being that euro appears to, all these things point to the euro maybe trying to make some sort of a low. ECB comes up on Thursday, and everyone is pretty darn bearish on euro based on that. So expectations are high. I'm not sure wouldn't take a whole lot to disappoint all them and have the euro go higher contrary to everyone's expectations. Okay, I'm getting off track. Let's go back to IDO. Uh, EIDOSearch, you're getting a lot of positive scans here for the euro crosses, okay? Euro Mexican peso, Euro Aussie, Euro yen, Euro pound, Euro Turkish lira. Okay, Euro CAD's down here too, Euro Kiwi. In other words, all the euro crosses are bunched up here at the top, uh, all indicating, potential bullish outcomes over the next 20 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on 3 of them: Euro Aussie, Euro yen, Euro pound. We're going to go through some of the stats here with IDO. Okay, so you've got in this case, um, we've got a 61% positive, okay, as far as the 20-day outcome, and 33 matches. That's pretty good. For more on this and what all this means, watch the videos on the IDO page. Did a webinar with co-founder David Kedmi last week on that, and there's some things that are explained obviously in the videos that were made before then. You can see you've got a 3.4 upside to downside ratio. That's extremely good. That's very bullish. Okay, that's what you want to see as far as a bullish idea is concerned. There's a lot of matches. All the first 4 matches that are the closest are all extremely bullish, and all have very high matches. Okay, the pattern similarity scores are all above 0.9 in all of these instances. All right, so a lot of close matches with what we've seen in the Euro Aussie over the last 3 months, right? And if you remember, 3 months ago was basically the top. Remember August 24th, and I put out some research calling for declines in Europe against commodity currencies. we're now getting to the point where we could start going the other way. Okay, so we've got EIDO being positive here on the monthly scan for Euro Aussie. So let's look at some charts on Euro Aussie itself. We'll go daily, weeklies, and then go short term. All right, so Euro, let's see here, Euro Aussie, weekly chart. Okay, original slope. All right, going back to really the origin of the uptrend back, in 2012. The slope obviously is one to pay attention to. The highs, all the important inflection points on this slope. Look at where we bottomed so far this week. Okay, by the way, we're making a weekly doji here, and the parallel that extends off the high in January 2013. Excuse me. That was resistance back here. Okay, in May of this year, we broke through it, consolidated. It was then support for the big move up. Okay, so we're right back at that level. So that's good. Support. Now on a shorter term basis, I'm gonna look at a 4-hour chart. This is the 4-hour chart going back to the high. Okay, you obviously have a very well-defined bearish working slope here. So a few things you want to see in order to get, a bullish trade setup. First thing, actually, where we're trading literally right now, this is resistance. Okay. You can see the parallel that extends off this last peak here. It's actually resistance during that run up just before Europe last night. And it was resistance here all day in the US session, very muted. Okay, it's a half day in the equity market, so there's not a whole lot going on. But in any case, it is resistance. So what you want to see is you want to see this break, okay? And then you'd like to see it, act as support on a retest. Okay, there's no bullish slope here. If we go really short term, say a 60-minute chart or something, this is Euro Aussie, you can see there's nothing really that you could draw here. I mean, you could draw the fork with these high, low, low here, low, high, low, but it's pretty flat. It's not all that great to pay attention to, in my opinion. Okay, but this is what I'll be watching for Euro Aussie as we, move forward. Watching for a move above this level. Maybe we get up to 48.30s or above there, and then if you get a pullback, you could envision some sort of a bottoming process taking place. You'd be looking for this exact line right here to actually end up providing support. All right. So just be aware of what's going on there. Remember too, we actually had posted this, I think, I don't know, 3 or 4 updates ago, but we did just a very quick visual with daily RSI. Okay, was it something like 23 down here on, what was that? On the 20th. Okay, so it was actually last Friday. And the magenta dots here, you can see these are the all the levels that RSI levels, reaching that area of 23. Okay, and they've all been going back, obviously, since we started the bull run. Basically, each time you get that low, it's pretty much the low. Okay, and look, in the broad scheme of things, this is an uptrend. Okay, still higher highs, higher lows. Okay, as we showed with the weekly chart and the slopes there. Okay, even within the downtrend that we had, you still had these clusters of these extreme RSIs give way to some pretty big moves on the upside. The exception really being going into the all-time low, which was kind of a complete meltdown and then complete capitulation, okay, back in 2012. All right, so that's Euro Aussie. Big thing, for going into next week is to pay attention to that short-term chart I showed you, the hourly, the 4-hour chart, and you want to see the market break above where we are now. And if it does, comes back, watch for support. Okay, so we'll move on. Let's look at another Euro cross. We're going to look now at, so we have Euro Aussie. We're going to look at Euro Yen. Not as many matches here, 17. Euro Aussie had 33, but the ratio on this one is huge. It's like 13. Okay, so very positive results. Again, 3 months of price data. Okay, for the search, and then projecting out 1 month. Bottom line, there's a lot of bullish statistics here. Okay, for EURAUD, you can see the overlays. Oops, didn't mean to press that. You can see the overlays here. Okay, the closest overlay 0.875. Again, not as many matches as Euro Aussie, and also not as many close, extremely close, above 0.9 similarity scores and all that, but still very bullish statistics moving forward 1 month. Okay, let's look at the chart. The Euro-Yen chart's actually extremely interesting, especially on the weekly. Okay, remember, this slope here, really the trend line from the 2013 December high and the 2014 March high, that kind of has been the dominant slope for some time. Okay, you had, that provide resistance after, a push through on a weekly basis, but we closed right at it that week. That was in September into lows. Okay, it came back and it was resistance, okay, into lows. Okay, came back, we consolidated, it rallied, supports, not quite there, but pretty close. And now we're at that same line again. And again, parallels from this is actually the same exact line or same slope as what would have been the head and shoulders neckline from the short early this year. Okay, that was resistance up here in June. All right. So this is an extremely interesting level that we're trading at for Euro Yen. You have a horizontal level down here as well. You have the January low right here. We're trading right now 113.15. That January low is 130.15. So it's literally the exact same level we're at right now. Daily chart. Okay. This is a modified shift fork. Okay, so that means all you're doing is taking basically a trend line from this line off of here, okay, and extending parallels. But you can see this does describe price action fairly well. Extending it from here would have gotten you resistance for 3-4 days up here in October. Extending it from here, the low in September has provided support really for the last 3 days, and we're making a key reversal today. All right, I don't think this is going to be a J spike. Actually, I can tell you it's not going to be because the range is not large enough to trigger the volatility filter that would make it a reversal that I really pay attention to on that basis, but we are at support. All right. Okay, moving to the short-term picture. This is what I'm paying attention to going into next week on a short-term basis. Okay, nice turn here on the upside, impulsive looking move. This one, Euro Yen, you actually can draw something on the upside. Remember, the seasonality for yen crosses does remain quite bullish going into the end of the year. And that's true across the board. I mean, yen, everything against yen. You can draw a bullish slope here. It's interesting to note you would have maybe some resistance right here, confluence. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that for now. But I think the big thing to pay attention to really is a slope that goes off the trend line, short term, 11.9 high, 11.18 high. Okay, you can extend it off here, and you can see that you end up, with potential resistance more or less up near spike highs that we had just yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry, on the 25th. So if you get up there again, same thing as with Euro Aussie or Euro Dollar, what you want to see a break above this resistance, the resistance that you came from into the lows. If you get a break of that resistance, a pullback into that same line, if it provides support, it's a bullish setup. Okay. So watch this line on your short-term charts heading into next week. Okay, so final pair we're going to look at. We've looked at Euro Yen, Euro Aussie, looked at Euro Dollar, just the chart earlier, not the EIDO stats, but let's look at Euro Pound now. Okay, Euro Pound. Again, the most matches here out of the three. You've got a 3 reward to risk here on upside against downside. A lot of matches, 36 matches for the 3-month scan. Again, projecting 20 days out. As you can see, overwhelmingly positive, 64% positive, 23 winners, 13 losers out of a 36 count. A lot of high scores, 0.91, 0.89. Okay, the first one, the closest match, is extraordinarily bullish. This is back in 2005. Again, I suggest that you, if you're more interested in digging deeper, go into this. You can go and get the dates in the table. Okay, so you can see the closest match would be what ended on, let's see, April 22nd there. Okay, um, that's the 3 months that ended on April 22nd. So January through April, and then you could plot those two time series together. Um, get a sense for how the market traded then compared to how it's trading now. All right, so let's look at those charts. Okay, weekly chart going way back, and again, it looks like the big match that you actually have is this one. This would have been that down here. Okay, so that's quite interesting because we're virtually on the same slope actually. If you take the slope off that low, we're kind of trading around it right now. But I'm looking at this one, okay, off here, slope extended from the 2007 low. As you can see, it's just below the low that we made in July. All right. Now, broadly speaking, this could end up being some sort of a broad bottoming base. At least that's what I think is going on. If I look at the daily chart, what you want to see here is establishment back above this median line. Again, this is longer term median line, goes back years. Okay, but just objectively speaking, back above here gives you a level to be bullish against. Okay, on the short-term picture for euro pound, pretty similar to the last several euro crosses, not surprisingly, and that is we have a short-term channel, okay, that we've turned up from, and if we can break through this resistance, we would have an opportunity to be a bull. Okay, so good charts to to look at or set yourself up for next week. And again, ECB is next Thursday, so this is interesting because it gives us a shot at seeing how the market's going to trade next week into ECB. All right. Maybe the market trades up through resistance, that'd be great, and then pulls back and into ECB. Just imagining scenarios or how these markets tend to trade on these events. You get to run higher, squeeze out, some weak shorts. ECB comes out, initial reaction lower into support, and then we go higher. Again, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not predicting this is what's going to happen. But trading these markets for, over a decade, you kind of get used to that type of price action in and around big news events. Okay. To be quite honest, the euro pound setup, as far as the short-term chart, not necessarily the long-term charts, but the short-term chart looks really good. As far as how it's turned up from here, and this last decline obviously fell well short of making it down into support. Didn't even find this support. Okay, so a break of resistance here would be, something that I would take very seriously as far as turning bullish on a short-term basis. And then that could turn into a long-term basis given that we're coming up from, multi-year lows. All right, so check out those charts just quickly to review. These are the short-term charts you want to watch. Euro pound, okay, slope based on the line here from the 1028 and 11.6 highs. Euro Aussie. Oh, this is the wrong one. Euro Aussie, the 240-minute chart. Again, just the slope that goes back to the high. Okay, you're drawing an Andrew slope here, a pitchfork. High here, low back here on the 22nd, high back here on the 29th. Okay, draw that. Extend parallels The one that we're at literally right now just extends back to the high that we had on the 24th earlier this week. You break above there, end up watching for support on that same line. Okay, so same thing as the other euro crosses, and of course euro yen. Okay, you're basing your slope here off of the line that extends from the 11.9 and the 11.18 highs, also really the 11.12 high. Good looking responses to the parallel that's extended makes a channel low. We've rallied from there. That's a good sign. And then, this is kind of a trigger line, if you will. The resistance that's taken us lower the last few days. If you get through that line, then watch for the same line to act as support. And euro yen has a good looking short term slope that could come into play again too. Okay, so you can draw that fork there, right? So that's that. Things to think about as you head into the weekend. All right, so enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. Jamie Setley here with SB Trade Desk signing off. All right, take care. Bye.